Less than 2 weeks to go, what poll workers are doing to prepare for Election Day. And police have a person in custody after a soldier's body was found in a dumpster at Fort Leonard Wood.
And some repairs are coming to MU's campus. The Conley Avenue parking garage will be closed for the entirety of this school year. We'll break down why and when you can expect it to reopen. This is KMU8 News at 6.
Coverage you can count on. KOMU8 News starts with breaking news.
We begin with breaking news tonight. A Sunday night shooting is now being investigated as a homicide. Good evening, everyone. I'm Evie Allen. Columbia police have announced a man shot on Clark Lane earlier this week has died. 28-year-old Orion Moody died yesterday from his gunshot wounds, and police say they responded to reports of shots fired in the 3900 block of Clark Lane on Sunday night. Police arrested 19-year-old Tavion Johnson on Tuesday. He's being charged with first-degree assault, armed criminal action, and unlawful use of a weapon. The Boone County Prosecutor's Office is working with detectives to update the charges after Moody's death. And a person is in custody in relation to the death of a Fort Leonard Wood soldier, Sergeant Sarah Roque. Death is being investigated as a homicide. Now, her body was found in a dumpster near housing on the base. The Army said Roque did not appear for duty on Monday, and the Department of Army Criminal Investigation Division began their investigation on Tuesday.
Her body was located in a dumpster adjacent to our single soldiers' quarters on the installation. Beyond that, I ask that I not comment further because of the ongoing investigation, but that was where her body was located.
Major General Christopher Beck also says the Army is working with other law enforcement agencies as well as the FBI to investigate. While no excuse absentee voting is already underway in the state of Missouri, the Cole County Clerk's Office tested its voting machines today to ensure they are ready for Election Day. KMU8's Bethany Cates was at the testing session and joins us now to share what she learned. Bethany.
Poll workers tested each machine, slipping in test ballots to ensure their efficiency. And while the Cole County Clerk's Office is making sure they are prepared, a federal government security agency says poll workers are more equipped now than ever before.
Yeah, it's very long time.
With just 12 days to go, it's time to make sure everything is in order for Election Day.
This is probably the third time we've used them. They're all brand new. They have the latest technology.
And while access to new technology might speed up some processes, the county says it's extremely important that the machines are reading and ingesting all ballot information correctly.
I think it's just a good process to make sure everything's accurate and everything's done properly. And I think we have a really good system.
The federal government's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency says the election infrastructure has never been more secure than now.
The machines that Americans use to vote are not connected to the internet. Election officials have put in place multiple safeguards, physical security, cybersecurity, to protect election infrastructure from compromise.
After testing all of the voting machines and ensuring that they are working properly and meeting all of the security measures, they are then transported from their holding location to a voting precinct, just like the one you see behind me.
And when the machines are all tested, then they'll sign off on them that the machine's tested correctly. And then we'll seal them all up and get them ready for Election Day. And they'll go out the Monday before to the precinct.
And while this might be a turning point election in U.S. history, the Cole County Clerk says in terms of voting machines, the general election is a lot easier than the primary election because there are fewer ballots.
Some machines have 18 ballots that have to go through them. Some of them have 36. So it'll take us about an hour to test these.
The Cole County Clerk says the voting machines retrieve all of the data on a thumb drive, and those thumb drives are then brought back to the office with the physical ballots for counting. In the studio, Bethany Cates, KMU8 News.
All right, thank you, Bethany. More than 150 clergy and faith leaders support ending the state's abortion ban. In an open letter, the leaders of Missourians for Constitutional Freedom called on Missourians to vote yes on Amendment 3, which would end Missouri's abortion ban. The leaders are from several different faiths, including the Presbyterian pastor, rabbi, and a Mid-Missouri reverend.
Seeing a few cells across the state of Missouri right now, nothing in mid-Missouri especially. We are seeing a few showers within the last hour up in Macon counties. They continue to push off to the east. This is not going to be our main rain chance through the rest of the overnight hours. Expecting another chance of rain late tonight into early on Friday morning. It will start to track here. In my full forecast, I'll have that track for you. Starting to see more dry time by the waking hours of the morning on Friday. And then from there, cooler air filters in behind this cold front in the upper 60s for Friday, the middle 60s by Saturday. Overall, still seeing plenty of sunshine through Saturday and Sunday, starting to see more of a warming trend starting off on Sunday and then heading into the beginning of next week as well. As far as those rain chances go, I'll have a closer look at that hour-by-hour forecast in just a couple more minutes.
All right, thank you, Kesley. Well, we have an update on the story we've been following. MU announced today the Connolly parking garage will remain closed for repairs for likely the rest of the school year. KMU8's Eric Lovelace is live from the garage now to give us an update on when to expect the garage to reopen. Eric.
The university will start construction on the parking garage before the end of 2024, and they don't expect that it will be done for about a year, so fall of 2025. It's going to cost them a pretty penny as well, $5.5 million. But what's actually wrong with it? Well, it's with the post-tension cables. So what that looks like is, the way it's built is you have the floor, and then you have the post-tension cables, and then you have concrete that fills in on top of it. But what's actually wrong with the post-tension cables, picture it like this. So there's supposed to be no slack in them, and right here you can see it's strung really tightly. But upon a routine inspection this summer, they realized there was some slack in there, and that makes the building that is more dangerous to use, and it's not safe for cars to park there. So let's some drone video that should be popping up on your screen from the day that is in August when they started doing some construction. And I spoke to the university spokesman today, and he says that other structures on campus are still safe to use.
No, we've actually done work in inspecting all of our parking structures, and at this time, all of our parking structures that are open are safe.
All parking permit holders that previously had their passes to this garage right here and have relocated to Turner or Hitt Street, well, they can stay there and they will honor that pass in its entirety. But if the university told me also today that if they are dissatisfied with this in any way, that they can get a refund and they will get their money back. Live from MU's campus, Eric Lovelace, KMU8 News.
All right, thank you, Eric. Well, a study lays out plans on creating affordable housing in mid-Missouri. What they found coming up. And STEM therapy coming to MU Healthcare. Find out about the brand new program next.
And we are now just 1 week away from Halloween. Have a closer look at that forecast and what you can expect for the rest of the next week in my full forecast.
A second person in Missouri is infected with bird flu without contact with an infected animal. Bird flu is rare in humans, with only 31 cases reported this year in the United States. Sources say the second person infected in Missouri lived in the same home as the first case. There's no evidence bird flu is spreading between people. Experts say it's more likely the individual shared a common exposure. And people who need stem cell therapy or bone marrow transplants will soon be able to get them closer to home. MU Healthcare announced a new program plan today. It says it's the only program like this in the area. The hospital announced the program will aim to help people with certain types of blood cancers like lymphoma and leukemia. The program will run through the Ellis Fishel Cancer Center here in Columbia. Capitol View access from the Missouri River is set to close permanently. The Missouri Department of Conservation says the closure is due to improper use of the area and boat ramp development issues. The MDC encourages boaters to use the Noren River access in Jefferson City. And a firm presented ideas for affordable housing to Mid-Missouri officials. What they found next.
And our high temperature this afternoon was 75 degrees. That's 10 degrees above average for this time of year. Temperatures will get a bit closer to seasonally average this weekend, but will climb right back up to above average by the beginning of next week. I'll have more details up next.
Columbia and Boone County joined together to host a housing summit today. They're finishing up that meeting now with some final thoughts. So KMU8's Carrington Peavy is in studio with a breakdown for us. Carrington.
Moderators are sharing conclusions on how to improve housing in Columbia and Boone County. Things like educating landlords, collaborating with the University of Missouri, and providing home maintenance are potential ideas. The summit shared results of the housing study that came out last week, and I got a chance to speak with the leader of that study. And here's what he had to say. The study was broken down to 4 different categories: development, preservation, empowerment, and sustainability. The city and county have been working with consulting company Amarak Planning Solutions on this project over the past year. Amarak suggested increasing supply by having infill development. That's when communities using existing land to build on instead of developing new land. Local housing funds could also be funded by sales taxes or linkage fees. Linkage fees would charge a small amount towards every new piece of infrastructure to go directly back into affordable housing efforts. The founder of Amarak says creating affordable housing will require all hands on deck.
Having good communication throughout the development process with the neighbors, with the planners, with the engineers, everybody involved has to be at the table, have a seat at the table, and be talking earnestly with one another about the issues so that they can find common ground and find solutions.
For more information on the results of the study, visit KMU.com. In the studio, Carrington Peavy, KMU 8 News.
We still have not picked up any measurable rainfall so far for the month of October at the Columbia Regional Airport. In fact, the last time that we did see measurable rainfall was 1 month ago today on September 24th, but we could see that change overnight tonight. Right now, we are starting to see an increase in cloud cover across mid-Missouri, especially some more of our northwestern counties, but temperatures still on the warmer side with most of us still sitting through the 70s. 77 degrees right now in Jefferson City, 72 currently in Columbia, 77 in Sedalia, 72 in Moberly through Ashland, 71 degrees right now in Mexico and Fulton. As we continue over the next few hours, still watching a few isolated pop-up showers, a few rumbles of thunder with these systems too that we just saw pushing through some of our northern counties and Macon County about 2 hours ago. Starting to see these start to push out of mid-Missouri, out of our viewing area, closer to Shelby County and into Quincy, Illinois. We'll continue to watch for a few isolated pop-ups over the next few hours, but our next main chance of rain will still be developing within the next few hours. We really start to see this line up closer to the northwestern portion of Missouri, closer to Kansas City by about 9 p.m. That's going to be when that cold front starts to make its way through into the state, eventually starting to move into mid-Missouri a few hours later. But it's also likely going to start to fall apart as it continues to push eastward. This is going to be good news to us because as these showers and thunderstorms are starting to develop, I think we could see some small hail closer to Kansas City. In fact, I think there's one cell just north of Kansas City in Platte County that's seeing some small hail right now. But these showers and storms continuing to weaken as they push eastward across the state, continuing to do so into early on Friday mornings, currently showing Friday at 3 a.m. Most of us looking pretty dry. A few leftover lingering showers, maybe you wake up to a little bit of thunder overnight, but overall not expecting any kind of severe weather or even strong storms for that matter of fact. As we head into the waking hours of the morning on Friday, by the morning commute, I think most of us are looking dry, maybe some left behind cloud cover, but that should start to clear out pretty quickly through the rest of the day on Friday. And in terms of rainfall totals, not looking like it's going to be a drought buster. I think on the heavier end, we can see upwards of 1/3 of an inch in areas north of I-70, near 1/4 of an inch to 1/3 of an inch on those heavier sides. Areas south of I-70 likely going to be a bit drier. I think some areas could get lucky to see 1/10 of an inch, while other areas are going to see just enough rainfall to wet the ground, while some areas could remain completely dry overnight and through the rest of the day for Friday. So overall, not a whole lot of rain that we're going to be tracking, and that's still bad news for us because to no one's surprise, continuing to see worsening drought conditions across the state of Missouri. Now 65% of the state is in a drought. That is up from 35% at this time last week. So this is not going to be a drought buster tonight. 59 degrees with those scattered showers, a few rumbles of thunder mixed in there as well. Temperatures tomorrow afternoon near 70 degrees, some lingering clouds in the morning. However, we will start to see more sunshine through the rest of the afternoon, and then cooler air continues to filter in through the weekend. 64 degrees on Saturday, 68 by Sunday, and then by the time we head into the beginning of next week, we're very close to 80 degrees once again on Monday as well as Tuesday. Starting to get a bit cooler through the rest of the next week, middle of next week to Wednesday and Thursday. We have a few isolated rain chances in the forecast. Still watching these as we continue to get closer. Next Thursday, of course, is Halloween. We're looking at temperatures in the afternoon around 66 degrees. Evening temperatures in the 40s and 50s. We'll continue to track this rain chance as we get closer, and we'll continue to keep you updated. Now for Weather IQ, sponsored by Break Time and Big O Tires. True or false, the United States has more extreme and catastrophic weather events than anywhere else in the world?
True.
It is true. We have such a wide range of geography in the United States that leads to all those different weather events.
Man, oh man. All right. Thank you, Kesley. Well, the Chiefs have a new addition, and he's got big team goals in mind. We've got your sports next. Here's Here's a look at what we're following for KMU8 News at 10. Pedestrian improvements could be coming soon to Columbia's Ash Street. Now, we heard from engineers behind the project about what they're working on, as well as reaction from residents. That's at 10.
And we're finally starting to see our next best rain chance in mid-Missouri. That'll be coming to us in the next few hours, mainly after midnight and then into early on Friday mornings, when we'll be seeing these best chances of seeing that rain. Areas north of I-70 likely going to pick up a bit more rainfall than areas south of I-70. And then we're looking dry through the weekend. 64 degrees on Saturday, 68 by Sunday. But then we're close to 80 degrees Monday and Tuesday before a slight cool down takes us back into the middle and end of next week.
So maybe a little cooler for you guys on Friday night.
To me, that sounds like it's going to be football weather in Ashland. For
that does
Southern
feel like
Oaks.
football weather. It's going to be jacket weather.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Hoodie weather.
You'll have your long sleeves starting out, showing us what's happening game of the week.
Last time we were out, you threw the ball around a little bit. You going to do that again?
I was really bad at it. So if someone teaches me, maybe. I'm not very athletic.
Well, that's right. We did learn that through the Olympic stuff, didn't we?
Leave me alone.
No one is tuning in for Kesley's athletics. We'll see you tonight at 10. Have a good evening.